Hello everyone, my name is Sofie Veie and I am a session guitarist based in London. It's my job. I'm here to answer some questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, so let's just dive in. Oh, quick note, I am not sponsored by any of the bands that I'm going to talk about, so just so you know. What the fuck, I'm so bad at this. First question is, how do you record videos? Basically what I do is that I record guitar and I film at the same time. So set everything up, press record on the camera, press record on Logic, take the video and the audio and I just combine those two together and there you have it. Do you play acoustic guitar? Yes. I think there's more to this question, but I'm not too sure what that is. I think maybe is it whether I play flamenco style guitar or classical guitar? K Baron asks, favorite guitar brand, what's your favorite riff to play? I'm not 100% devoted to one guitar brand, but I'd say that I got my Suhr back in October last year, and I've pretty much not played anything since. So, Leo Jalin asks, tips on good tone for beginners. So, I am one of those people who believe that guitar tone is primarily in your fingers and in your hands and in your technique, which is why gear, that's more about making the individual player comfortable. And if they're comfortable, they're going to play better and then their tone gets better. So for a beginner, I'd say, first of all, your vibrato. That's so essential. I would say even intermediate players and professional players who have not worked on getting a good vibrato, and it's a no-no from me, is all I'm saying. I'd also say that you should work on making sure that each note rings out evenly and nice. Just be very critical of what the notes sound like as you're playing. You don't want a pentatonic scale sounding like It's not what we want. Lastly, I'd also say that working on stuff like dynamics and articulation is really, really useful. Instead of just playing the notes straight on, try and see if you can approach them differently. So like try and sliding into the note, try and bending to the note, from the note, wherever. Try and experiment a little bit more and also make sure that they sound good. Oh, if you want a little cheat, reverb. Joan Jax02 asks, when did you start playing guitar? I think we're getting up to like 10 years now. Bloody hell. Code asks, is your guitar action high or low? And it's definitely low. I've got a small man's hand. Bartholomew Fugelhorn asks, which guitar is more comfortable? Of the ones that I own, Suhr first, then the Ibanez, then I've got a Fender Jaguar, and lastly Gibson Les Paul. Leo Jalin asks, any good exercises or tips on playing more clean? First of all, mute your guitar strings. Learn how to mute your guitar strings with both your left and your right hand, especially if you're doing high gain stuff and any lead stuff. Generally, when you're learning a riff or a lick and it's not really happening, there's something's off, and there's usually like a couple of notes that are not working out. Instead of just playing the lick over and over again at the correct tempo, well, maybe be curious about what exactly is happening. Why can't you play it? Is it maybe your picking technique? Is it maybe some string skipping that's not working out? Maybe it's the way you're fingering it on your fretboard. Oh god. Basically, if you're just playing the same riff over and over again, you want to be patient when you practice and when you're focusing on playing clean. It's going to feel very unsatisfying and like you're taking a couple of steps back. But trust me, you're going to end up playing a lot more fluent, and you're also going to learn the lick a lot quicker rather than just playing the riff over and over again. So be patient and be curious about your playing. White Jackets 8 White Ladies asks, where did you develop your rhythm chops? You have a good sense of timing. Thank you. So we all know that we gotta practice with a metronome and yada yada. But another thing that sort of helped me as well was I used the book called Modern Reading Text in 4/4 by Louis Belson. And I was initially using it just to sort of work on my sight reading. But I found out later that it actually really, really helped me improve my sense of time and my sense of rhythm. Just because I sort of discovered some syncopations that I've never really practiced or would practice before. So that was really, really handy. For the past 2 years or so, I started practicing without using reverb. I used to really rely on having reverb on to make me feel like I sound good. But the fact is, reverb is gonna sort of muddle out how precise you are. So I think me starting to practice without the reverb and without relying on it has really helped me with my timing as well. Cool. So another trick that you can do is that you can take any lick that you know. Let's just say most likely that lick will start on beat 1. Cool, sick. Now, what if you just start playing the same lick front to back, but you start on beat 2? Cool, sick. Then do it on beat 3 and beat 4. After that, what you want to do is that you want to move the lick by an 8th note. So instead of starting on 1, you start on the end of 1, and the end of 2, end of 3, end of 4, and so on. Once you've done that, you can then start working on your 16th note. So you can start on the 1E, 1E and so on. It'll really challenge your rhythm playing. So give that a go. Ansela Graham, or my sister, she asks, Dad wants to know how you're doing. Jeg har det ret godt faktisk. Jeg savner jer rigtig meget, så jeg glæder mig til at komme hjem. Which guitars do you recommend for beginners? So I've not personally played any of these, but I've heard so many good things about the Yamaha Pacificas and that you get a lot of guitar for your money. Otherwise, any guitar made by Squier, Epiphone, Ibanez, Gretsch. Did I say Ibanez? You'll probably get a decent guitar with those brands. Please buy a guitar that, one, you can afford, and secondly, one that looks irresistible. You want a guitar that flirts with you. You want a guitar that you can't help but pick up, because that's going to really motivate you to practice and get better. So get that flirty guitar. Cool. Walk us through the signal chain. Okay. Step 1, have a guitar. Step 2, plug your guitar into the interface that you have. I have a Focusrite Scarlett interface. Yes. Then connect your interface to your laptop. Then next step, find any recording program, a DAW. I'm using Logic. The rest is literally just recording yourself and make it sound good in there. That was Arts Q99 that asks, walk us through the signal chain. This is from Hazy Ibrahim. What makes Suhr different from Fender? I would love to hear your opinion about this. This is just my personal opinion and experience. So I feel like there's so many guitars that are made by Fender that sometimes the guitars are a little bit hit or miss, so that even when you have the same guitar model, each individual guitar will feel and be built a little bit differently. I feel like with Suhr, you've got a base level build quality that's so excellent that you can't really go wrong. Obviously, I'm not saying that this is for every single Fender out there. I'm just saying it happens more often. And yeah, Suhr guitars, they do start at a completely different price range, but even with Fender guitars in the same price range, I sort of feel like it's still a little bit hit or miss with Fenders. I'm speaking in very general terms here when I walk into a guitar shop and I want to try something out. I've never really had a Fender that made me go, this plays like butter. And I want the butter. I want the butter. What was my point? Basically, if you've got $2,000 or $2,500 to spend on a guitar, which is, first of all, you got it going, okay? I would be personally more comfortable using that on Suhr, where I know that the build quality is going to be great. Whereas with Fender, it's going to be a bit hit or miss. Also with Fender, I feel like sometimes you pay a bit more for cosmetic improvements, not necessarily better build quality. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay for a better looking guitar, because beautiful Suhr guitars, wow, they're expensive as well. Hopefully I got my point across and you know what I mean, okay? Okay. Let's move on. Maddie Plays Guitar asks, where did you study? Smiley face. I studied for 2 years in Denmark in a music academy, and then I moved to London to study popular music performance in what is formerly Tech Music School, but it's now called BIM London. Leon 83rd asks, is the Yamaha THR worth it for a 12-year-old just starting out? Any advice aside from practice? I would always recommend the Yamaha THR. I think It's an excellent amp, and I think it's versatile. I can't recommend it enough. I think everyone should have one. So tips aside from practice, keep the guitar out. Buy a stand, always have it in sight. That way it's going to be so much easier to be motivated to practice it when you see it. Like I said before, if you have a guitar that looks beautiful and irresistible, that's flirting with you every single day, you're more likely to pick it up. Just Joey asks, tips for recording guitar videos. Just do it. iPhones are great. Just film it with your phone. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Morales 430 asks, guitar pedals session guitarists need please answer. It's been in my mind for a long time. I'm not sure what that means exactly. I'm assuming you're asking what guitar pedals I have. Oh my god, I need a haircut. What was that? Okay, so this is the pedal board that I used before the global pandemic happened. My very last gig. Full-tone OCD, Mojo, a Pog, Strymon delay, and the TC Electronic Hall of Fame. That is it. I feel like with some of these topics I could just keep on going for hours, but I'll spare you.